Hello everyone, my name is Vedant. Today's my topic is for loop. What we can do if we want to print hello world for 5 times. So it's simple, right? We will write like this. And if we want to print or do any specific task for more than 10 times. So there is a loop in C. We will learn about loop. C language provide us three types of loop, so we can run a specific task of our code again and again. While loop, do while loop, and for loop. We can divide a loop in two types. First is entry control loop and second is exit control loop. In entry control loop there is for loop and while loop, and in exit control loop there is do while loop. For loop. Today we will learn for loop. For loop is the most popular loop in C. For loop has three parts. First is initialization, second is loop condition, and third is increment or decrement. Initialization will execute at first time at start of the loop, and the loop condition is tested before entry in loop. So it can decide whether loop is continue or terminate the loop. Increment is executed at the end of the each loop. So let's learn about syntax. Syntax is like a for loop in bracket initialization, condition, and increment, and in bracket we have to write in our code. There is a two semicolon are compulsory in the for loop. So let's see some examples. So let's understand with one simple example. Let's write hello for 10 times. So for that I have to declare one variable, and then for loop. For loop let's start with 0, and second is a condition. We have to write hello for 10 times, so we will write 10, and then increment or decrement. There is one increment. Hello and slash n. As you can see, hello will print for 10 times. It's not a compulsory to start at 0. We can also start at first, and then we have to write less than or equal to 10. So it will again print for 10 times. And now let's learn about a different way of for loop. Here we can also use two variables. First is start from 0, and second is start from 1. We have to put a comma, not a semicolon, because in for loop there are only two semicolons. And let's write one condition, and then increment I++ and j++, and let's print I and j. As you can see, first is I will start from 0 to 9, and the second is j will start from 1 to 10. Let's talk about condition part. We can also write two condition. We have to write a comma in between two condition, but in for loop first condition will not execute because there is two condition. Only last condition will execute. As you can see, the output in last condition will be executed as, and if we put or between two condition, then greatest condition will execute it. So greatest condition is I, so I condition will execute it. And for third, if we don't write anything in for loop conditions, so let's see what will happen. If we don't write anything, so in for loop, so for loop will become infinite. And if we want to stop, then we can press a Ctrl C and then enter. It will stop. And let's talk about the last. If we put a semicolon at the last of a for loop condition, then what will be the output? If you know the output, then put in comment box. So let's talk about nested for loop. If we want to print a matrix, then we have to write a nested for loop. And this is matrix which we want to print, and the position of every variables in matrix is here. First time when we print, first row will be printed. For first time, variable I value is 0, and then in this second for loop, the value will be changed like this. First we 0, second 1 and 2, and after completing this loop, the first loop will execute second time. So the variable I value is 1, and here will be 1, and as a previous row it will also change like this 0, 1, 2, and after that for third row it will be 2 and 1, 0, 1 and 2. So let's run. What will be happen? As you can see, the matrix will printed like this. So now let's talk about flow diagram. When loop will start, first there will be initialization, and after initialization the condition will check. If the condition is true, then come in statement, and then after completing statement, there will be increment or decrement, and after again it will check a condition and become this loop. And if increment or initialization will be false in condition, then the loop will terminated. So now let's talk about infinite loop. As we have discussed, if we don't write anything in a condition, increment and initialization, the loop will become infinite, because there will not any false condition. And if we want to stop, then we have to press Ctrl C. So yeah, let's end this video. If you understand something new about for loop, then leave a feedback in comment box. Thank you.